Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Mr. Cobalt, and in this video I'm actually going to go through and show you how to use your scientific calculator to put in scientific notation and also do some mathematical operations like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, just so you could see how you put the scientific notation into your calculator and how you can then add or multiply and divide, which is what you're normally going to be doing on your calculator. So it's very important that you know how to use your calculator to do scientific notation because it makes everything easier and you will avoid making calculator mistakes to get the wrong answer. A lot of times that my students get the wrong answer, and if I notice it's off by some factor of 10, maybe it's off by 10, 100, or 1,000, that's usually an indication that a calculator mistake was made. And that's usually because I find that the student hasn't entered the scientific notation correctly into their calculator. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so as you can see here, I have three different calculators. I'm going to show you how to do that on each calculator. So let me start with this calculator right here. This is by far, I wouldn't say the most popular, but it's one of the most popular calculators, and it's the one that I kind of use. It's the TI 30X 2S. So if this is excuse me, this is the calculator I highly recommend to students in the classroom. It's ubiquitous. You can find it anywhere. It's pretty cheap at Walmart. So maybe about 10 bucks. And this is really all you'll need for your chemistry class. You don't need anything fancy. So how do you put scientific notation in your calculator? So let's turn this baby on first. So here we have the on button. So let's turn that on. And there we go. So I'm going to clear that. Now, the way you want to do this is let's use Avogadro's number as an example. So 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. How would you put that into your scientific calculator? The button that you're going to want to be very familiar with is this EE button right there. So notice that the EE, let me zoom in a little bit so it's clearer. There we go. So there's that EE button right, where is it? Right there. So you'll notice there's an EE there above the button. So that means you're going to have to use your second function or your shift or whatever you use. In this calculator, you have the blue second button. And so whenever you hit the blue second button, that will enable you to use the blue functions that are above the keys. So either, arctangent, arcsine, or you could use e to the x, but we're not really going to be using that very much in chemistry at all. So basically, we're going to be using EE. So if whenever I want to do scientific notation, I'm going to hit the EE button. So I'm going to do second function, and then I'm going to hit this button right there, and that'll be EE. Okay, so how do I put scientific notation? So I want to do 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, you have those two parts of the scientific notation. You have the first part, which is the number that's going to be between 1 and 10. So it's so in this case it's 6.022. So and then you have the times 10 to whatever power. So if I want to put in Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, I'm going to first put in the numbers for 6.022. So I'm going to put in 6.022, and I have that 6.022. Now I want to put in my times 10 to the 23rd. I'm not going to do times 10 to the 23rd. And I'm not going to use this button here, 10 to the x. I'm not going to use that. what I'm going to use instead is the EE button. So I'm going to hit the second function, and notice that on this calculator, second comes up, so you know you're in the second function. And then I'm going to hit EE. I'm going to hit this button right here, and I'm going to press on that button, and then notice what comes up. I get an E here. So that E represents times 10. So right now I have 6.022 times 10, and then whatever I put in is the exponent. So what follows is the exponent. So the exponent is 23. So 6.022 times 10 to the 23. So I'm just going to put in 23. So I type in 23, and there it is. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is 6.022 times 10 to the 23. That's how you put in your scientific notation. Now, I can do anything I want with this number. I can divide it by a number. I can multiply by a number. So, but if I hit the equal sign, watch what happens. It'll give me what the number is. So if I hit equals, there it is. So it shows up. If I hit equals, I have that is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So that's that number. So, and I can do that with anything in scientific notation. If I want to do 5.05 times 10 to the negative 2, then I could do that, right? So let's do 5. I'm going to hit the 5.05 on my calculator. So I just hit the buttons, 5.05. And now I'm going to hit the second function, and then the EE button right here. I'm going to hit this button. And then I have my E. That's my times 10. And then let's say the exponent is a negative number. So if it's a negative, let's say it's a negative 23. So I need to use the negative number, and so I need to use the button for negatives. This button right here is not for negatives. That's your minus sign. If you use that, that's gonna tell the computer to subtract something, and it's gonna confuse the calculator. So your negative button is here in parentheses. That's your negative button. So if you want to use a negative exponent, or that's what you're going to push. So I'm going to push that, and you'll see that I get the negative, and then I'm going to put in 23 because that's what I'm saying the exponent is. So I put in 23. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, is the number in scientific notation. So 5.05 times 10 to the negative 23. And so if I hit equals, it comes out as that 5.05 times 10 to the negative 3. All right, so that's how you put in scientific notation into this calculator. And now I can do things like multiply and divide by numbers in scientific notation. So if I take this, so if I clear it, I'm going to clear this. So let's say I have let's say I have 6.022, and then I'm going to do second function. I'm going to do EE, and then that's going to be my times 10. And let's say I want to do 23, so I'm going to put 23 for the exponent. And so now I have that. So I want to say, let's say that I have 6.022 times 10 to the 23 water molecules. And I want to know how many moles that is. So I'm going to divide that by 6.0, Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 times 10 to the 23. So I put in my number, 6.022. And then again, I'm going to do second function, EE. And then I have my E there. And then I'm going to do 23. And there it is. And then I'm going to equals. And of course, it should be 1 if I did it correctly. and it gives me the answer 1. So that would be 1 mole, because I know that 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd is equal to 1 mole. So let's do this again. Let's take some random numbers. So let's say I take, I want a 5.62 times 10 to the negative 5. So I'm going to do second function EE. And so, and then I'm going to do the negative. I'm going to hit the negative button. So I'm going to negative. So that's my negative button. And I'm going to put 12, negative 12. I think I said 5 before, but I changed my mind. Okay, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to multiply that. So multiplied. I'm going to hit the and then I'm going to do a different number. Let's say 8.54. And then let's say 5.4. And then when I need my times 10, so second function EE. And let's say that the, let's say 45. Or let's say 6. So the exponent is going to be 6. So I'm multiplying those two numbers together. And so I hit the equal sign. And there's my answer. So 0.000047995. And then, so that's how you can do scientific notation in your calculator for this kind of calculator for the TI-30, the TI-30X2S. So again, this is a very handy calculator. What about other calculators? Let me show you in another calculator. So in this calculator, another common calculator. This is a Casio FX 300 ms. Okay, so you'll see that this is a little bit different, but for our purposes, um, instead of an EE button, you have an EXP. Oops, there's EXP button. So the EXP button on this calculator is the exact same button as the EE button. You'll notice that the EXP is on the button itself, so you don't have to do a shift. You don't have to do the second button, second function button. You just hit this button here. So again, if I want to do 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, let me turn it on first. Where's the on button? On. There it is. On button. Okay, so there's the on button. So I'm going to hit 6.022. So 6.022. And there it shows up in the display. And now for the times 10, I'm going to hit EXP for exponent. So EXP. If I hit that, let's see what happens. You'll see the E again. So that E is times 10. And then you put in 23. So 23. And there it is. If I hit equals, it shows up as 6.022. And you'll see the little times 10 there raised to the 23rd power. And again, I can then multiply this. So the answer will be multiplied. I can multiply this by another number in scientific notation. So I could put, let's say, 3.02. And then I can do the EXP. I'll hit the EXP button. And then I get my E there. So there's my E. So 3.02 E, or times 10 to the what? Let's say negative 56. So I'll put, and again, the negative number is going to be, where is it? So it's not your minus sign. Your minus sign is not the negative number. Let's look on this calculator. Where's your negative button? There it is, right there. So that button right there, you have the your minus sign in parentheses. That's your negative button. So you're going to hit that for a negative sign. So there's the negative sign. And then what do we say? I said 56 maybe. So 56. So there it is. So I'm multiplying 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd by 3.02 times 10 to the negative 56. If I hit equals, that should be something like a negative 23 or 24 or something like that. Or 32. Oh, I miscalculated 32. So so it's a 1.818644 times 10 to the negative 32. So that's how you use scientific notation on this particular calculator. Some calculators will have an EXP button, so I wanted to show you this. Some calculators, as I showed before, will have your EE button right there. Okay, what about this third calculator? So let's take a look at this one. This is a Sharp. The distinction between this one is you have your basic functions, and again, this has an EXP button as well. So you would use that as well. This one has a second function here that's yellow. So if you hit that function, then you can get the values that are in yellow above the button. That's what that for. So it says second function. And so that's how you use these calculators. I hope that this is helpful to you. It's very important to know how to use the calculator that you have, and hopefully this helps you with your calculator in your class. So I hope that, again, this is helpful. If you like this video, please share, hit the like button, share the video. Please subscribe to my channel so that way you can be notified by other videos. And again, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.